Everyone loves an underdog story, and Dory Funk Jr. is the ultimate wrestling underdog. He was an absolute beast in the ring, but the tragedy is that he always lived in his brother's shadow. He is a wrestling legend who deserves way more recognition, and we're here for it. Dory Funk Jr., born Dorrance Ernest Funk in 1941, grew up surrounded by wrestling greatness. His father, Dory Funk Sr., was a legendary wrestler and promoter, and his younger brother, Terry Funk, would go on to become one of the most recognizable names in the sport. The tragedy in this is that Dory never truly got the chance to breathe. We'll talk about this in much detail, but before that, here's a little bit about how our legend was made. So gentlemen, wrestling wasn't just a career in the Funk family, it was a way of life. But even with all that legacy behind him, Dory Jr. had to fight to carve out his own place in wrestling history. Before stepping into the ring, Dory was an athlete on the football field, playing for West Texas University. He had talent, no doubt, but his father wasn't the type to let that distract him from the family's true calling. Dory Sr. was tough, even relentless, pushing both Dory and Terry to develop the wrestling skills that would define their careers. Under that intense guidance, Dory found his style, a technical, disciplined style that made him different from the chaos of the wrestling world. Dory's wrestling journey officially began in 1963, and it didn't take long for him to shake the wrestling world. By 1969, he'd reached the pinnacle, winning the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. And not for a year or two, but for 4 long years. Back then, a reign like that wasn't just impressive, it was unheard of. Dory's matches were like chess games, calculated, precise, and always a spectacle of skill. But his story of greatness did not come without controversies. For Dory, one of his biggest struggles was being constantly compared to his younger brother, Terry. While Dory was calm and technical, Terry was wild, unpredictable, and larger than life. Terry's crazy charm and over-the-top moves often made him the center of attention, while Dory was seen as the serious Funk, the wrestler's wrestler. It didn't help that critics and fans a lot of the times framed their dynamic as opposites. Terry, the entertainer, and Dory, the technician. Despite these comparisons, the two brothers shared a bond that went beyond the ring. They teamed up for legendary matches, creating unforgettable moments in wrestling history. And while the spotlight might have leaned more toward Terry, Dory stayed focused on his craft. He rarely complained about the comparisons, instead taking pride in what he'd accomplished. Later in life, Dory reflected on his career with quiet pride. His legacy wasn't about flash or spectacle. It was about skill, storytelling, and inspiring the next generation of wrestlers. He may have spent his life in Terry's shadow, but make no mistake, Dory Funk Jr. was a legend in his own right. While this is what people most talk about, there's also a crazy incident that took place in 1997 in Gainesville, Florida, and it was considered quite controversial. It all started after a match involving MMA fighter and NWA champion Dan Severn. As Severn was leaving the ring, Dory's wife, Marty, playfully threw some water at him. She probably thought it was harmless fun, but Severn didn't see it that way. He wasn't amused at all. When Dory stepped in to calm things down, the situation took an unexpected turn. Before anyone knew it, Dory and Severn were squaring off in the ring. It wasn't planned and it wasn't official, but it sure got everyone's attention. The top ropes were missing from the ring, but that didn't stop them. Dory later said he managed to take Severn down twice during the impromptu match. For Dory, it wasn't just about defending his wife. It was about protecting the honor of wrestling. To him, the ring wasn't just a stage. It was a sacred place where disputes could be settled the right way. That wasn't the only time Dory made headlines. His rivalry with Jack Briscoe is one of the most famous in wrestling history. Their matches weren't just about athletic competition. They told incredible stories. Fans would sit on the edge of their seats as the two wrestlers battled it out. Many of their matches ended in dramatic draws, which only added to the excitement. Those encounters helped cement both Dory and Briscoe as legends of the sport. Even in his later years, Dory found himself at the center of controversy. At the age of 83, he took part in a double-hell current explosion death match in Japan. The match was no ordinary wrestling bout. It included explosions, dangerous stunts, and plenty of risk. Critics said it was too much for someone his age and that it might hurt his legacy. But Dory didn't see it that way. For him, it was proof that his love for wrestling hadn't faded, no matter how old he was. Throughout his life, Dory Funk Jr. faced challenges, criticism, and physical battles. But no matter what, he stayed committed to wrestling. For over 20 years, he and his wife, Marty, ran the Funking Conservatory, a wrestling school in Ocala, Florida. Together, they trained and mentored countless young wrestlers, passing on everything they knew about the sport. The Funking Conservatory produced some of the biggest names in wrestling, including Kurt Angle, Matt and Jeff Hardy, and Lita. Dory focused on teaching the fundamentals of wrestling, along with storytelling and discipline. He wanted his students to understand the importance of respecting the ring and carrying on the traditions that defined his career. Dory Funk Jr.'s story is about more than just wrestling matches. It's about passion, resilience, and a lifelong love for the sport. Whether he was in the ring, facing criticism, or training the next generation of wrestlers, Dory always gave it his all. His legacy as a wrestler, mentor, and pioneer will always be remembered. If you are a true fan and have stayed till here, make sure you subscribe to this channel and also give this video a big thumbs up. Also, if you are a big fan of wrestling highlights, make sure you keep watching because in the next segment, we have a rundown of the epic career of Dory Funk Jr. Dory Funk Jr. debuted in professional wrestling in 1963, working alongside his father early on. Those early years taught him discipline and helped him develop a style that focused on technique, precision, and storytelling. While Dory wasn't flashy or over the top, his calm and focused approach stood out. His career took a big turn in 1969 when he defeated Gene Kiniski to become the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. At just 28 years old, he was the youngest wrestler to win the prestigious title at the time. What made his victory even more special was the reign that followed. Dory held the NWA World Heavyweight Championship for over 4 years, a record-breaking achievement. Dory's matches during his title reign were known for their intensity and skill. He faced off against some of the biggest names in wrestling, including Harley Race, Terry Funk, his younger brother, and Jack Briscoe. His rivalry with Briscoe became the stuff of legend. Their matches were more than just fights. They were masterpieces of athleticism and storytelling that had fans hooked from beginning to end. While Dory's in-ring career is legendary, his impact goes far beyond his own matches. In 1991, Dory and his wife Marty founded the Funking Conservatory, a wrestling school in Ocala, Florida. For over 2 decades, they trained and mentored countless aspiring wrestlers, passing on Dory's wealth of knowledge and experience. The list of alumni from the Funking Conservatory reads like a who's who of wrestling stars, including WWE Hall of Famer Kurt Angle, Matt and Jeff Hardy, and Lita. Dory emphasized fundamentals, storytelling, and respect for the sport. He believed wrestling was about connecting with the audience and honoring the traditions that made it great. Through the Funking Conservatory, Dory left an indelible mark on the next generation of wrestlers. His students didn't just learn moves, they learned what it meant to truly love and respect the art of wrestling. Dory Funk Jr.'s career is a story of resilience, passion, and influence. From his record-breaking title reign to his wild later years, he has remained a constant presence in the wrestling world. His calm, technical style and dedication to storytelling have inspired countless wrestlers, and his work as a mentor ensures that his legacy will continue for generations to come. Whether you remember him for his epic matches, his time as a tag team with his brother, or his role as a teacher, one thing is clear: Dory Funk Jr. is a true legend of professional wrestling. Thanks for watching. Dory Funk Jr.'s incredible journey through wrestling is proof that passion, hard work, and love for the sport can create a lasting legacy. From his early days growing up in a wrestling family to his record-breaking reign as NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Dory's career is packed with unforgettable moments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss our deep dives into the lives of wrestling legends. And let us know in the comments below, what's your favorite Dory Funk Jr. moment? Was it his rivalry with Jack Briscoe, his unexpected showdown with Dan Severn, or maybe his later years as a mentor at the Funking Conservatory? We'd love to hear your thoughts and keep the conversation going with fellow wrestling fans. Stay tuned for more amazing stories about the icons of wrestling, the rivalries that made history, and the moments that changed the sport forever. Until next time, keep celebrating the art of wrestling, and we'll see you in the next video.